I've seen way too many anime with those same beach episodes that feel like they've been multiplying and spreading through every other series I watch. But wait, there are some that don't necessarily have those? Fan service is a common theme in anime, and it can get repetitive and a bit annoying for some fans when it happens so often. My Dress Up Darling sort of reinvents this idea where fan service is weirdly kind of meaningful in a way. This anime becomes more than just fan service scenes because we get moments of wholesome friendships and the genuine love of cosplay. The best part is that Kitagawa Marin is genuinely willing to help and is fully committed to guiding our protagonist with his sewing journey, and all without slapping Wakana out the window. Well, most of the time. Now, the slice of life genre can be pretty relaxing with an everyday life kind of story, but again, it can also lead to something that becomes generic and forgettable. I mean, there's also a formula here where the appeal is usually relatability. There's rarely innovation in this genre, but that's where we have Bocchi the Rock. In just 12 episodes, without forgetting its genre, this anime became a fan favorite with its eccentric humor, rock and roll themes, and a limited use of high school life to cater to more than just one audience. We all really found ourselves rooting for Hitori Goto as she struggled to express herself with the guitar and make her new band truly rock. Her struggles were real. If you think about it, in a way, Demon Slayer is kind of just the standard shonen action anime. I know, I just triggered a lot of Demon Slayer fans out there, but hear me out. I love the show too. This anime is popular for a reason, and that's because despite keeping that standard, it also brings us something really unique and interesting. The selling point of this anime, in my opinion, is its strong emotional core. Tanjiro in particular has such deep-rooted moral and family values that just makes us keep watching because we want this guy who is struggling so desperately to succeed. Especially because, come on, he's such a nice guy. Tanjiro also isn't reckless like the other shonen protagonists, and he knows his limits. What's even more engaging is the stunning animation. The scenes can be just so mesmerizing with how well they're animated. There's also a great soundtrack and drama and plenty of humor helping Demon Slayer feel conveniently familiar, but also refreshing. Oh, when the Ghost in the Shell movie came out, it wasn't just a fluke, because after that we got the addition of releases like Standalone Complex, which were just as good. The Ghost in the Shell franchise proves to us that the sci-fi genre isn't just about aliens or space or complicated made-up science concepts. This genre always has a lot to offer because even after all this time, it's still more thought-provoking about humanitarian themes than ever before. It shows how anime isn't just generic and formulaic all the time, and actually has moments where you have to stop and think for a bit. It even leads to an existential crisis sometimes, doesn't it? If you're someone new to anime and have watched all those boring ones that offer nothing new, let me introduce you to Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. If you haven't watched it until now, you really should. I cannot stress that enough, you really should watch this anime. This is really one of the ones that makes you think about a lot of stuff. It can get really deep with some of its themes, like if making certain chimeras is morally acceptable or not. I mean, I think it shouldn't be, at least. But don't let that turn your head away from a series that is thoughtfully written and full of countless themes like world history, war, genocide, forgiveness, religion, and what it means to be human. When Oshinoko came along, we really got a break from the cliché idol anime genre. It really reminded us that even idol anime can subvert expectations in huge ways, as innocent as it may seem. There's more than just one theme in this anime. We have a partial isekai story, a drama, a romance, and even a revenge story. These elements are the running narratives of the series, but with all of this, we also get an insight on the harsh reality of the idol industry. It's a really interesting watch, and honestly, quite a different take on the idol genre. Every season we have like 10 different isekai anime being released, and most of them are with mediocre plotlines until finally a gem in the genre is found. That time I got reincarnated as a slime is one of those that actually stands out from the pile of isekai. First of all, the anime was one of the first to introduce an isekai protagonist that was as silly and uninspiring as a slime, only to become completely overpowered. Now, there are some cliché elements like how the protagonist is just unbeatable. It's one of the most common themes in isekai. But Rimuru doesn't only level himself up, he also levels up an entire nation and seeks to build a peaceful land. Such a constructive and selfless mindset is kind of rare among isekai protagonists. At least, I don't think a lot of them are dedicating themselves to building an indestructible nation. There is just way too much to be said about Attack on Titan, and most of that can only be good things. The series is far from a conventional shonen anime, with discussion on the meaning of life, freedom, politics, morals, just full of thought-provoking ideas that you can't help but take a moment to think on. The hype around this series is especially well-deserved for how intricately the plot has been constructed. This is the story of Eren Yeager, whose beliefs take a dark turn once he sets out beyond the wall into a world of tragedy. The historical seinen anime Vinland Saga has set a new standard for its genre. Now, one might think it's just an anime about Vikings and a revenge plot, but that couldn't be farther from the truth, as the series gives us an insight to meaningful themes like the cost of vengeance, finding purpose in life, and wrestling with internal demons. It also brings out the feeling of hope in a way, by showing us that if Thorfinn can go through such terrible tragedies and dream of a better future, then maybe anyone can. Now, in the shonen genre, Chainsaw Man is a darker narrative, and its selling point is that it can be really unpredictable. The protagonist is barely what you would expect, and the characters and story make it an experience that hardly feels like a series of cliches. This anime has times with really dark humor and messed up action scenes, and just overall it's a series where it does its own thing. There are really more than enough times that this series has given us unexpected plot twists and killed off characters we didn't even know were gonna be dead. According to the shonen anime formula, nothing and no one is what they should be in Chainsaw Man, and honestly, that gives us some hope that they're finally realizing how the same thing is becoming a bit boring. And maybe with Chainsaw Man, they're ready to change things up a bit. So I'm curious, which anime did you feel was the one that was way different than all the other ones you've ever seen? Was it different in a good way? Let me know in the comments. And do like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, thanks for watching.